welcome once again to Conscripted, episode 33. Telling you what date we rejoin the party on is somewhat irrelevant, as they are in the process of quite a bit of things. But before we talk about what they're doing now, let's talk about what they were doing last time.
We almost got Sphinx killed. That was fun. Well, Heracles did, but we kind of let it happen and played our parts, and
Yes,
I don't know.
like good little toy soldiers.
Didn't really have a
Heracles is
choice.
dick.
She fell out before she looked too hurt.
Yeah.
She's
And-
like still unconscious in her fucking room.
Well, she's not goo, is
No, she
the
woke up
barometer
at the
here.
end of
Yeah, she's
the last
conscious.
session. She had
Oh,
woken
yeah,
up.
she's
she
conscious
got-
She's not
again.
still
Yeah.
unconscious.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
There's-
she came
there's,
and
like,
found you.
unconscious
at
and goo, and she's not quite here yet.
she came and found you at the blacksmith.
She only has like
place
a
at the
combined
very
negative 10 durability scores right now.
I think it's actually higher than that if I remember
Oh,
right.
yeah.
I was
yeah,
looking
just
at it earlier.
negative 14, negative 15 combined negative durability score. No big deal.
But it is spread out amongst multiple.
Yeah,
things,
yeah, so that makes it less bad.
Some to con, some to charisma, some to wisdom, it's all good.
And that's not gonna. She can still heal that normally, right? Or does she have to? Or is
Oh,
that
yeah,
some kind of
it's-
special?
It's not as bad as vial damage. I would hate to be someone that has that.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Not only do I have vile damage, but I also have charisma damage. So there's that.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
yeah.
7 vial damage is really hurting me a lot.
You should be...
I hate you all.
What were you taking the charisma damage from?
Because we
from
were
the-
assisting the assistant spells.
right.
And we failed our saves, so
Yep.
I have a -2 to charisma right now.
Yeah, and that will take longer than usual to burn away.
So now
So
I'm
anybody
not-
that did take that, don't be healing that until I tell you you're healing that.
Yeah, I still have it marched down.
Okay.
And that reminds me, our things upgraded, right?
Yes, your life shield shirts have upgraded. They are now what I personally consider a substantially greater number of hit points, but I still saw complaints about the shirts.
I mean, I wish I had this fancy shirt.
I mean, Dan seemed to pitch the most fit, so Dan, if you want to toss your shirt over to her.
No, they're like I was basically saying I was at the level where I was going to sell the shirt and upgrade my comm belt because it's the same amount of hit points.
Yeah,
And then I don't have to worry
except
about
that in one case, the first hit that you take doesn't stop a spell, whereas in the other case it does.
Yeah, I don't have any full round actions, so
I mean, it would still affect a standard action. If you cast a spell and something succeeds at like either readying for you to do it or something
I see.
like gets you an attack of opportunity because it has like step up or something else, like that would be a situation where it would come in handy.
Yeah, it hasn't come up a lot, but
Nope.
that is a relevant part.
Things have been pretty low level, and those feats don't tend to exist in lower level enemies.
Yeah, so Sphinx has access to Heracles' study area.
So my charisma, by the way, guys, for example, Dire Rat, Weasel, a Cool, and a Donkey.
What's your charisma at right now?
With the -2, I'm down to 5.
Same.
Oh,
I'm same. So yeah.
awesome.
Thank God I'm
Ugly, ugly
intimidating.
people.
Yeah.
I thought my 9 was low.
Yeah, I'm sitting at a nice 5.
What happens if my
charisma.
charisma reaches 0? Do I just die?
You
Yeah,
are
like, poop out of
erased from
existence.
existence.
Oh, man.
Charisma in this game is one of the worst things that you can have reduced to 0.
But guys, how am I going to heal this 1 point of charisma damage I have?
All right, so over the last couple of days, you guys have been giving me a lot of details on stuff that is getting accomplished. You gave quite a list for Sphinx, and like a dipshit, I did a bunch of the math. Wait, maybe I did it in Keep. Oh, for the love of God, please tell me I put it back in Keep. But I think I have it in a Notepad++ document on my computer at work. Yep. Yep, I did. But I did all the time math, and she was at about, what was it? I said 12 days.
They said she was at 6 days.
6 days. That was it, because it was half.
But
of
that was
the time.
before you remembered like the bullets or something that needed to be added.
Yeah, but that was one extra. There was one more day. That's 7 total. Because Ryan never got back to me on how many, how much, what.
Yeah,
enchantment.
I actually I do have what I wanted, at least the most important one. I have too many things open.
But there's still, what I was basically trying to say is there's still more room for her to enchant stuff if people wanted her to create more items.
Can she enchant like armor and stuff after it's made?
Yes, she has magical craft arms and armor, as well as craft wondrous item.
Okay.
And brew
So
potion.
I think after Mao makes my chess piece, I think I have enough money for it to be enchanted, so I'll probably add that on once that's done.
Okay. That's going to be a bit rougher. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on here. So Mal, you are willing to let the people of the Forge help you in the production of your armor. Okay, you want holy? Need that. You don't have enough for a +3 bonus because you have to have a +1 plus the +2
for the ammo.
Yes, you have to. On all things, you have to have a minimum +1 in order to start applying the other bonuses.
Gotcha. It's the first time I've ever bought enchanted ammo for anything. But how much is a +3 bonus? I can look that up.
16,000, I think. Yeah. I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
It's possible I would have enough for that. I can look it up.
So Mal, you've been allowing people to give you a hand in the production of your armor. They are all incredibly helpful in shaping, in like fabricating specific pieces. You can take a good amount of time making sure you are making this to the utmost, the like highest level of quality of production. And by the time you are finished, it's probably only been about 6 or 7 days at worst. And that's really like, you have to take some pauses. Things do get very warm in the Forge, but you are working on things at a very rapid rate. But this armor is, this material, this like kind of arcane iron is just really interesting to have to work with and deal with. Every time you think you've got like enough of it mastered, you find some other like little thing that sets you back by a little bit of time. But once it is finished, you have this piece of iron armor. Now it still weighs roughly the same as iron armor. There's not much of a weight reduction overall, but it is much, much stronger. Many of the people here, like, you guys kind of get into a kind of pissing match, testing to see if anybody can put a dent in it. And no one in the Forge using any natural means can seem to dent this armor. It is exceptionally hard in durability. Additionally, it seems to be a bit more resistive to some types of attacks. This will actually inherently act as though it is non-magically enhanced armor. So think of this as how the adamantine condition works on a weapon, but for armor. It is still stackable with any additional magical energy that you put on top of it. However, it does cost double to enchant anything on it beyond that. As it does inherently have some measure of spell resistance. In fact, against any spell that is not a lightning spell, it does give you spell resistance of 11. Not a lot of spell resistance, but again, you've kind of taken the properties of this and reforged it into a different shape, and in a more limited fashion. The spell resistance is higher the more coverage that it gives you, but even still, any level of resistance to spells is nothing to laugh at. I'm assuming that at some point you have it fitted to her properly. And this was regular breastplate, right? Not agile breastplate.
It was agile if possible.
Yeah.
Okay, that is fine. I don't remember what the benefits of agile breastplate are.
It just, I think, reduces like.
It just has like a slightly less penalty on acrobatics checks or something like that.
Yeah, reduces it for climb and acrobatics checks. So this will be effectively a +7 armor bonus with the same max dex bonus, and give you a spell resistance of 11.
Ooh.
And the first enchantment you put on it is at +1, not at +2. Even though it is already +1 ahead.
So normally to enchant +1, it's 1,000?
It would be 1,000 normally. It will cost you 2,000 to enchant this, because it's going to take a lot more resources to make sure the same enchantment can be placed upon it.
Yeah, so I'll still have Sphinx do that. That'll be like the last thing I can afford to do.
Okay. Go ahead and deduct that from your character sheet.
Okay.
Dan, your thoughts on the material?
Yeah. I'm just laughing because I know that armor was already pissed at somebody else, but I still have my writ too. This guy's just gonna be like, I'm done with fucking writs. I'm done with these fucking things.
No more military writs. I'm losing twice as much money on this shit. This person, somebody's
cool.
bringing in armor I've never fucking seen before, and then another person comes with even worse armor.
Does it impair the ability to have any abilities on the armor? Or does enchanting the armor still work the same?
Any enchantment that you're adding to it will cost double.
But like you can still add any enchantment.
Absolutely. There is no limit. It will actually allow you to get an effective +11 in total enchantment enhancements, because the armor itself has a non-magical enhancement bonus, which will stack with the existing enhancement bonus.
Okay. No, that's dope. So yeah, I was fucking around with trying to figure out. I think Steve and I are just doing brew your own paint at this point, because there's actually no paint system in Pathfinder.
Yep.
But unless you tell me otherwise, Ricotta, your armor is basically, I painted it like a crimson color. You being from the Crimson Council, like, and then also, what is the symbol? Your god's Sashat?
Yeah.
So like, I would have imagined I put like an arcane mark on the chest that's like some symbol of Sashat. I don't know what symbols you wear on your person normally.
She has like the holy symbol of Sashat, so you'd probably be able to see that on her, because I think she would just like probably wear it around her neck, basically.
And what is that?
See, so that is actually a problem. Sashat, a little while ago, Sashat's holy symbol changed, and I never actually got around to making it. Largely because there were complications, namely a divorce that happened, and that kind of infringes upon your ability to properly get certain things that were planned out like 5 years ago completed. So.
What does Ricotta wear as a symbol?
I feel like how long ago, like theoretically, would that symbol have changed?
That symbol changed hundreds of years ago.
Okay, so I'm assuming she would probably have the more recent symbol of Sashat, because she hasn't been alive for hundreds of years.
Yeah, in theory, unless somebody was like passing down an old heirloom of Sashat. But many people talk about how that doesn't really like properly showcase your belief in Sashat by wearing the old logo, because it's not really what Sashat stands for anymore.
Yeah. I would guess it would have to be like something like semi-knowledge related, so I don't know.
Let me see if
like an eye, a book.
Yeah, like the first thing that was popping in my head was like a book, but like that almost strikes me as a little bit too like scholarly and a little less like.
Actually, it is very likely that her new symbol is probably reminiscent of the Eye of Magic, which is a. Let me make sure I have the right. I forget what it's called. What's the name of the Egyptian Eye of Horus?
The Millennium Eye?
Thank you.
No, it's actually just called the Eye of Horus. I thought it was called a legit eye. But it is very similar to the Ujit Eye, only it is upside down. And like it's basically rotated 180 degrees without the eyebrow. This is about as similar as I can get. But it is that, and I guess here, just in case you're not familiar with what it looks like, I will throw it up in the Discord. Damn it, where is the Discord link? There it is. So it looks something like that, but if you took away the eyebrow, rotated it upside down, and you turned where that underlining area is, you fully connected to that, and it looked more bow-like, like a bowstring, a string being pulled back from a bow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, so I think she would probably have something pretty similar to that because she definitely follows to like the more newer Sashat like train of thought. After Sashat and Thoth divorced, she definitely follows the newer Sashat like following and all that, so it would probably be something pretty close to that.
So yeah, if that's what the symbol is...
That is not what the symbol is. I am deleting that.
So...
No, right, and I mind melded on that. So if that's what the symbol is, and it's not like a symmetrical eye, I think I would probably have put one of that eye on like the right side, and then a mirrored version on the left side of the armor.
Okay.
And I think that's all the awkward.
Right at about chest level.
I
drew boobies on your armor.
actually, on the shoulders would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
I think
Like,
like shoulders.
I think it looked cool on like the abdomen too. Like right.
Yeah.
You're gonna get it like Guile's tattoo in the old Street Fighter games, where it's just mirrored on both arms.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I think I like sort of an abs area more than I would like shoulders, because breastplate doesn't really have.
Actually, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get it painted like on her face, and then on the armor you're gonna have like what looks like a jaw opening up.
Body paint.
And
Do it.
And the rest of her body is painted up in black.
Ooh, that's where you lost me.
And then she has dramatic music when she comes out, and she periodically like lowers her head and then raises it, and then lowers her head and then raises it. She'd be like a demon or something. Maybe like the demon.
She was really devoted to Sashat. She should get it tattooed on her like
Thank you. Finally got
closed eye, so that when she closes her eyes.
Oh my lord. It's not enough that I kill in the name of Sashat. Well, I
killing
do.
in the
I think
name
so.
of.
Staying true to
No.
Sashat's ideals,
It's more.
I see.
It would be more of defending in the name of Sashat than outright killing.
So, are you gonna give her writ? Are you gonna give your writ to have her armor enchanted, or are you gonna wait to use that on yours?
I guess we'll see like how things shape up with this downtime and stuff.
Okay.
If I am not gonna have time to even make mine, then I'll just give the writ away. If I
Okay.
end up having time to like use it, I'll use it. But I would at least obviously give. I'm probably giving this stuff as I complete projects, especially since I know that, because that also means that you can sell your old armor.
Correct.
And get some gold for that, so you can have some extra stuff to buy from
Yeah.
Six.
So it's a +1, just like a +1.
I thought that was already
Like-
sold.
No, we didn't sell
No, we
that
didn't
yet
pawn any
because
armors yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We pawned our old weapon because
Yeah.
the weapon was redundant.
Then that was because I actually got a new weapon, but we hadn't done anything with the armor until I actually got rid of this
Okay.
armor.
Actually, did we sell? Hold on. Let me go back and look at the
Yeah,
conversation.
something was sold. I'm actually scrolling up through it now.
Well, there was multiple armors that we sold off from the fight because we got a lot of light armors and everyone wanted medium armors. So I know we sold like 2 armors that we got from the loot of our last fight against the Vile party.
Steve had basically mentioned like you could use like there's like 800 and 1200. I'm like, well, we'll only sell the scimitar for now because I don't want people to sell their armors yet because I don't know how long this will take. But I will try and find it.
+1 falchion and a +1 breastplate. Oh, that's for tallying. That was not what was sold. That was for tallying total wealth. So no, it is actually here. 18,990 plus 1,200 and 800 if you sell the breastplate and falchion.
So did we actually sell the breastplate off then? I thought we hadn't, but if we did, that's fine.
Well, okay, so
nope, okay. We won't be selling the BP. Yep, got it. Okay.
So I did not include the 8. And
cool.
And that line a little bit lower, I added everything. I did not add it 800.
Nope, I see it. We're good. We're good.
So yeah, you have, and you can just sell whatever, Ricotta, so you don't have to put that in the party fund or anything.
Okay, so that was 800 to sell that?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So Cassius, what have you been doing during this downtime?
Been trying to do some research on, or like, I guess asking the oh my god, what like asking around about like ammunition and what kind of ammunitions I can get.
Okay.
And
so ammunition is largely going to be whatever you can manage to fabricate or what Spinks can manage to enchant.
Yeah. I yeah. There were some of these ones I was looking at. I totally forgot about or didn't think about the have to be +1 to get a +2 enchantment on them as well. And I am a little shy of it, but also spending like 9,000 gold on that seems a little.
Hello.
Hello. Let me organize some windows here. Because Cassius and Spinks got flipped.
Ignore that. That was I didn't mean to roll.
Sure you didn't.
There we go.
Yeah, I super wanted that appraise check for absolutely no reason.
Okay, so you're looking into ammunition.
Yeah. I guess because I don't really know what we're up against at the moment, though. The only thing is that that I knew that would be useful would presumably be that, but I can always bookmark that for later.
Well, you could always start with +1 ammunition, get enough of it, and then have it upgraded later on.
Well, yeah, no, that's not a problem. I was also looking at some of the +1 stuff, but I don't know enough about what we're actually going to be encountering.
I mean, you're never going to know about what you're going to encounter. That's part of the thrill of the.
No, but I mean, like in character, I know that if we go into that one area, I know I can safely assume that if I had the holy bullets, they would be more beneficial there.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah, like given the knowledge that we know, I could reasonably deduce that it'd probably be beneficial, at least to some of the enemies there. And it does seem to be more powerful, so having that kind of ammo would be super helpful. But I don't know, like, about any of the other stuff that we could encounter.
Indecisiveness over the period of time that you have is only going to result in inaction.
No, I know. That's why I was trying to figure out.
Picking at the very least a base level thing is at least a safe option that ensures that you're not going to end up in a circumstance where you have nothing of benefit as opposed to what might not be the most optimal.
So for bullets, would I be able to? I'm assuming I'd still be able to get the same kind of special materials that the arrows would be made out of, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Don't know why I was struggling to
For the
find
most
it.
part, if you can stuff an arrowhead with something, you can stuff a bullet with something.
Gotcha. So I was figuring at least if I get something like because that'll be significantly cheaper as well.
In fact, actually, if you look, if I'm not mistaken, there are alchemical bullets.
There are alchemical bullets, and I was looking at some of those as well. Just trying to find, or their cartridges or whatever the equivalent is.
All right. Well, while you're mulling around with that, let's jump over to find out what Aravos is doing.
So just in chat, those are my spells during downtime,
Mhm.
unless otherwise noted, I guess, for doing something special.
Okay.
So until Mal has time in the evening, where we basically had like a gentleman's agreement to share some spells.
Mm-hmm.
During the day, I want to do my like scribing. I don't know if
Okay.
I can do this for Heracles or just like do it in town or.
Yeah,
something.
you can absolutely do it in town.
So I don't know how long. Do we establish how long we're chilling? Because every week
I've heard the numbers 30 and 45.
days.
Yes, those were
You want me to-
the two numbers that I had heard at different points.
Okay, so just to be safe, I'll just do 2 weeks. Essentially, is so I
Okay.
get half that check in gold,
Okay.
and then the other 2 weeks, sometime, I plan on speaking to Rokata privately,
Okay.
and then I'm just trading spells with Mal. I think those are the only specific things I'm doing.
So, Ra, over the last, at the very least over the last week, you'll have uncovered the information that we have discussed in Discord about the oddities of this city.
Yeah.
Have you given any thought to things that you might want to investigate, or whether you just want to drop the subject entirely and be okay with the fact that this town of Shishat seems to have nothing in alignment with Shishat?
Yeah, I don't think I want to drop it entirely yet, because it really bothers me that they're basically, I feel like, using Sasha as a front. Like, I think maybe if it was a different goddess, I would just drop it, but the fact that they're using my goddess kind of was like, seriously, like, this isn't cool. But I don't really know what I should do about it, or like how deep things go in this town to like what I would be getting myself into. So I think at the very first, I would like have a conversation with the entire party and be like, look, this is like what I've figured out. I'm pretty sure this temple in the town that's supposed to be worshiping Sashat is actually like a front, and I'm pretty sure they're actually like secretly worshiping Thoth. But I don't really know what to do about it, but I'm kind of not okay with it. See if anyone has any other ideas. I think I did want to try to research, maybe kind of secretly, not from the party, but like trying to make sure like no one in town notices me researching this, like what they could potentially be doing to make it so that the consecration isn't working, or if there was something I would know about Thoth, and if it's something just to do with like their like temples or something that I like, or shrines that I'm not seeing are preventing it. And then, yeah, just bring it up to the party, maybe even ask, like, if we think for any reason, like, I don't know, should we even, like, bring this up to Heracles? Because I know he's probably on the evil lines, but he seems like a very straightforward evil. Like, he will be evil to you, but he's not gonna, like, hide about it. He's pretty much gonna, like, tell you, like, this might kill you, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's what I want to do. So thinking that maybe he has the mindset of he like wouldn't be cool with like the cover up of this stuff going on. So I don't know. That's where my thought process is currently.
Okay. So does the party have any feedback for Ra in this particular situation?
So, we briefly touched on like what Aravos would know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we kind of talked about how the party had went to Heracles to tell him about all this crazy shit going on. I'm his apprentice, so I don't know how much of this he's told me.
He has kept you in the dark about a lot of it because he doesn't feel it's
Okay.
useful to you right at this moment.
Okay, so when she's saying any of this, anything that you think I would know ring any bells for me to bring up? If not, then the only thing that she mentioned that I think Arvos would care about is if she mentioned specifically that they're blocking some sort of magic happening. I think that's interesting.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's like a knowledge arcana to see like what can stop.
It is indeed. If you want to give me a knowledge arcana, that would be a perfect thing. So with a 20, let me make sure that this is enough. But I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, so there's not a lot of ways that you could potentially block something like that. But if, for example, the area were affected by an unhallow, like if the entire town were on unhallowed ground, that would potentially create an effect that attempting to cast Consecrate wouldn't have much effect.
Okay, I share this tidbit of information with her, or with the party as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like any known thing to undo unhallowed ground, or is it like it is
hollow?
It is unfucked. Would you let me guess? No one in town would.
You're definitely not finding that spell in town. Nope.
Yeah, Mal would not know much about any of this stuff. I mean, he knows that some weird stuff goes down, but he was not with the party when they uncovered this most recent stuff.
Yep.
So I don't really have... You tell me weird stuff's going on, I just probably assume it's like a Rackless or someone fucking around with shit.
So yeah, I mean, like after that, I don't really know like what more there really is that I could do. I mean, I basically have evidence that like an entire town probably, or the good part of like the government, since they've basically told me that this temple also acts as their basically like town hall, is pretty sure a sham worshipping an evil god, and there's no way I'm gonna get a hallow spell here, and we're here for a while, and even if I did get it, it's a 5th level spell. So other than like taking the information to Heracles to see if he even like gives a shit, like that's the only thing I think I could think of at this point to do.
I'm
You
guessing
think anything happens in this town that he doesn't know about?
I'm guessing it's safe to say that leadership in this town hasn't changed since the last time we were here.
It has not. However, while you're going about town, and after that first week and Ra has the conversation, you have begun to notice that there are signs going up throughout the town. Very small flyers are being hung up. There is a protest that is being planned. All of the humans, or at least maybe all the humans, a good portion of them, some amount of the humans have been posting up flyers talking about a protest day they are planning.
Do any of these are these human-centric ones? For like, cause when he was talking, it sounded as if he was trying to get specifically more humans in when he was having that.
Just to set the record straight, was Cassius alive for that?
Yes, Cassius and Sphinx were the
Okay.
two party members that still exist that were alive at that time.
Okay. Yeah.
First, before you go in with your thought, do the flyers say what specifically they're protesting?
They are protesting the existing ruling authority, the current mayor of the town. The argument is that thus far the mayor has organized poor trade deals with the orcs to the north, with the Crimson Council to the north. They blame her for not having increased trade, which should be like great benefit. There should be a lot of like livestock and other things that their hunting prowess should be acquiring that isn't flowing in. And as a result, like of course the dwarves maintain a life of high status. Well, whereas all the rest of the races continue to struggle to survive with the claims that the orcs aren't dealing with us fairly. Even though many of them claim they have like word directly from orcs that orcs want to make trades, and it is the dwarves that are unwilling to negotiate fair prices for things like weaponry or for other various hunting materials that would be used to be of benefit to the Crimson Council of the North.
This is the same town where we found that secret hideout and everything, right?
Yes, this is the same town with the cult of Thoth.
Yeah,
and
that has a similar...
The little bit of knowledge that she could remember from it, which is kind of what helped me put together that it was Thoth, because she could remember that it looked like a knowledge symbol, but it seemed to be like backwards. And then I knew that it seemed like things are almost like evil, and like putting two and together that basically Thoth is an evil god, and basically his thought lines is that like they like to like keep all the knowledge for themselves and then like only release it when it's like basically the best timing for them to like get something they need or whatever, right? It's like keep all the knowledge for yourself and only let it out when it basically suits you and your cause. Whereas Sashat is basically like freedom for knowledge for everyone, and that no one should just like keep knowledge to themselves. So that's kind of how I put like everything together. That was like, oh, like this entire temple is basically probably like a sham and a cover-up for them actually worshiping Thoth, and they're just pretending to worship Sashat. And that's why like when I even went to the temple to try to like commune to Sashat, like everything just felt wrong.
Just one thing for the record. Didn't we tell Mal about all this when we met? Because that's the day we met him, was he came from the Crimson Council. And I remember him getting specifically pissed off because we're like, yeah, this town's corrupt for this and this reason. He's like, oh, fuck, everything's corrupt. Like, I think we told him all this.
Well, he met the Sparrow. He doesn't have exactly all the details, but he does know the town is corrupt. But I think to Mal that, I mean, based on what I know about what I think we talked about, Dan, Mal is more in the position of, like, you don't want to get involved in, like, some town's random politics, right? Especially one where it seems to be pro-human-centric.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is that whether I like it or not, we are basically acting members of the military, and the military would not overthrow the politics of a town that is like actually paying them dues.
Well, weren't you? I can't remember if you were there, but we got like the go-ahead for the military to do this like coup, basically.
Well, we got the go-ahead to help overthrow the corrupt mayor.
Yeah.
But I thought we already had that going into play.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember if Mal knew all this because I couldn't remember when you came. Yeah.
No, we knew that the mayor and stuff is corrupt. We knew that. I don't think I'm. Am I mixing up cities? No, this is the same city where the dwarves were corrupt, right? They were.
Yeah,
like,
that is correct.
She had an abundance of emeralds or whatever it was.
Sapphires.
Like
she has a large amount of sapphires. Yeah.
So we had reported on all that. The military was adjusting their taxes. All that had been changed.
And they gave us the okay to kind of research into it as much as we wanted to.
Correct.
But I don't think anyone had specifically as far as gone to say that, by the way, there's like some secret cult shit going on.
Well, were you there? You were there when we went into the what was it, like a warehouse or something?
No, he wasn't there.
He was not there for that.
Yeah, he
but
wasn't.
I thought we told him about it, though.
I think we must have, because that's when we were like dealing with the Sparrow.
Because we were trying to like,
no. The warehouse stuff was before the Sparrow stuff.
Yeah, I know, but I think we
much further
told
before.
him why.
It was like days before, because
I think
exactly. That's why I think we told him about it. That's why I thought we.
I thought we tried to. You tried to tell him about it in order to like convince him why the town was so corrupt.
Exactly. That's what I thought. I don't remember.
Sure,
I thought we
perhaps.
did. At least that. But also, is what I was kind of trying to get at. Was there anything that like definitively, would have at least to Cassius proved that this is a pro-human thing? Because I did sense motive before.
Well, you knew that the Sparrow's prime objective is to promote humans. He believes humans are superior.
Yeah.
He is very much so a racist, or at least prejudiced towards all races that are not humanoid.
And he's the one presumably doing like at least spearheading or like in some way involved in these flyers. I'm guessing. I don't know if I'd
give me a perception.
Yeah, is there like a little sparrow in the corner or something?
Oh God!
Oh my God!
Oh man, I added again from ones.
There is nothing here. No iconography. No nothing to go off of.
All out looking at these things, or is it?
Yeah, I mean they're everywhere, so you can't not see at least one or two of
me
them.
Never to get a +10 in anything ever again, because that's where.
Yeah, I think I would be like super paying attention to these flyers because it's like, oh, like they're talking about the like corrupt or wanting to overthrow.
So Aravos and Ra, you'll notice that like the way the end and Mal, no, not Mal.
Oh, that's actually not updated.
The two of you will notice that the poster has a very like hard to notice, almost like a magic eye puzzle. In it, but as you're kind of looking at it, you're like, I think I see like a bird shape in this.
If I notice this, I do not say anything about it.
Okay.
Because we had mentioned to Rackless about the sparrow, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I think Steve
Okay.
said I specifically
He
know
is
about it
he is
too, but-
familiar with the sparrow, and he is willing to not get in the way of the sparrow's activities.
Right.
Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
I-
unless, yeah.
So I do not in character know who this sparrow is, so I would probably take one of the flyers back and show everyone else. Like, do you guys see this? I swear this eye is like turning into a bird in the middle of this paper.
Oh man, all this new information about perception that I have.
Yeah, so at that point, if she brings it up like that, I'll say, it's clearly the sparrow's involved. And yeah, I'll just say that. I don't think I care much. I'll just care about answering the question, not about the whole situation at all, really.
On one of the
yeah, I'll be like, who the heck is the sparrow? I don't know.
Well, you're kind of having this conversation. I'm assuming in the evening of the day that you guys discovered the flyers, there is a knock at the door.
Yeah, thank you for assuming that we're not doing this in public.
Yeah.
Well, she said she brought the flyer back, and
Yep.
she asked us about it.
Yeah, I didn't know if she like we were all kind of walking and she brought it to us and okay. But yeah, there's a knock. Is it? Do I recognize this knock?
Where are we exactly? Are we just in an inn, or where are we all? We're all just chilling. Where?
You are in your. I'm assuming you guys would have this conversation in your You guys kind of share the large penthouse suite in this inn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think Mal would go to the door now. I don't know. I don't go to the door.
No, I'm thinking of the other one where we had the room made for us. This one is we just paid for
This one is kind of a room that is for the military, and he rents it out to other people, and the military is not in town.
Identify yourself.
I don't know how much I trust this room.
Is that a whistle?
Mm-hmm.
I saw your whips, and I couldn't hear the whistle.
Oh, okay.
Have we heard
Look,
that before?
I'm like,
That's what the sparrow did, right?
What the hell does a whistle mean?
You've never actually had him come to your room.
Okay, so I don't.
Definitively
We haven't heard the whistle before.
It is some kind of bird. It sounds as though it's imitating some kind of bird,
like a smaller bird.
like
probably.
a smaller bird, maybe sparrow-like. But also potentially to the tune of "Happy Birthday." That's actually what I inadvertently whistled. I was not going for that, but
I go to the door. I kind of have Ayun at ready.
You better hope that's public
and I
domain.
creak the door open.
I think it actually got overturned finally.
Really?
Yeah, after 25 years or some crazy shit like that.
Because I remember that being recent in the news, within the past few years. But
behind the door is a rather old-looking man wearing heavy robes, and he's got this kind of half mask on that looks as if beneath it it's covering up you can see bits and pieces of what look like boils coming out from the openings in the mask, and he's holding himself up on a cane. Excuse me, I've heard there are a group of military men and women here that might be of some assistance to a rather desperate man in need.
What sort of body language is this guy giving off?
Give me a perception, or a sense motive will also work.
I can do a perception as well if you'd like.
So from the sense motive, yeah, give me a perception as well.
Alright.
This is fun. This is actually a nice challenge. Let's see how well he did.
I have no suspicions.
Oh my god, how horrible. Yeah, you guys can spot. It is the sparrow. This is a disguise. You notice that the boils coming off underneath don't match the skin tone of his hands that are slightly protruding as they kind of hold the stick. And also he's not, the hunch is there, but the hunch looks like a very forced hunch as opposed to that natural, he's not holding the staff as a support mechanism. He's holding the staff and leaning onto the staff to kind of take effort off of his step as opposed to using the staff as the only thing that's keeping him afloat.
I never forget his face, Sparrow. Just come in. Don't stand in the hallway any further.
He steps inside.
There wasn't anyone else in the hallway when we were out there, was there?
There was not. Thankfully, you mentioned my name at the timing you did. This could have been quite problematic, you realize. Yes.
Why is that?
Well, if someone would have heard that I'm here. Well, the owner of the establishment is not interested in bringing my desires to an end. There are many others that I'm sure would be. There are many that are sympathetic to the dwarves' plight.
Yeah, your desires are problematic in some areas, but
Prove to me that the dwarves are not a plight on this town, and
I'm not
I
arguing.
will.
I'm not arguing that aspect of it. I'm arguing the other aspects of it, the human-centric aspects that you've got going on here.
Listen.
Seems
Cassius, I didn't know you were so anti-human.
no. The problem is that he's too pro-human, and it's going to be a problem for the town if the humans overtake the dwarves. We'll be ended up in the same situation, except for humans replacing dwarves. Well, maybe not exactly the same situation, but close enough. It's not enough variety.
You're right, the elves should run things, and I'll go back to reading my book.
Didn't say that. That would be the same problem. Thank you for paying attention to what we're talking about here.
I kind of just wave my hand and go back to reading my book.
That's my qualm with it.
I understand that you have your suspicions.
Yes, because when we caught you last time, you told us as much.
You just don't understand the value that humans bring to society and the ignorance that dwarves bring.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the value of humans.
Then you would understand that I have the greater perspective here. That I am...
No, that's not true.
Certainly.
Or if you're talking about the specific dwarves in power at the moment, yes. But the way you're saying it is dwarves overall.
Dwarves overall
That's the
are
issue.
stubborn, ignorant, and oppressive. They believe that they are perpetually right, when in fact they are often wrong.
Where have I met a person like that before?
As he's saying this, Arvos is kind of just nodding while he's reading his book.
You don't see the hypocrisy here, do you?
The hypocrisy is not the important part of things.
You're the humans that everybody else that hates humans dislikes.
Look, okay, maybe you're failing to understand, but humans do not pose the same problems that dwarves do.
You're right. That may be true, but that doesn't
No,
necessarily...
all I heard there was I'm right. So, now, if we
they
can...
pose different problems, potentially.
No, nonsense.
I don't like the... you're not going to convince me with your misleading arguments here.
Humans bring development and efficiency. Dwarves bring stubbornness and stoneheartedness.
Seems like you're generalizing quite a bit there.
I speak only in what I've seen.
I've met my fair share of good people for both sides.
I kind of gesture to Cassius. I'm like, Cassius, if I may.
Sure.
It seems that the way that things go in this world is we push one way and then someone pushes back. I don't care what evil. It's all the same. There's always going to be some evil. What I need your word on is that you're going to make things better than they currently are.
That's subjective, and he knows that.
No.
He's going to tell you it is going to be better because his idea of it is better.
No, I'll be pretty blunt with you. Power is an important thing to have, and I want it. There's no question about that, and I believe that by having humans in control, I have better access to such power. However, I also recognize that there is an economic downturn since the dwarves have taken over. Their greed and lust for gems is directly provable if you look in the coffers of this town.
Yes,
It is-
those dwarves in power currently.
It is my goal. The problem is that this is what dwarves do. They hoard things as if they were like vile creatures being literally mind controlled by the coin or the gems in which they interact with. The fact is that while greed is still something that does run amongst humans, it does not run amongst it to the level that it does with dwarves. And what I am proposing is to have leadership that wants a more unified goal towards the progress of the country, not just simply the town.
Well, what it sounds like you're proposing is a government controlled by humans, regardless of whether or not those people are more proficient in those positions of power.
So, do you believe that there are problems with representative democracies?
Yes, I think that if you're trying to say that humans exclusively have the best perspective from every angle on every issue, then yes, I would say so.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that right now we cannot implement a state of democracy, a state where we would choose based on the populace, because of the large amount of dwarves and the sway that dwarves have over other dwarves. So it is important that in this case, we don't take the improper action, and we take somebody who is of a better and more neutral mindset to replace the position of the current ruler. I would be for a gnome, or one of us, of course, to take the seat. What was that sense motive?
To see if whether or not he was being honest about that, or if he was misleading me like he was with the other things.
No,
like
I mean he does seem to be talking in less than like 100% truths, but he's also like nothing about what he's saying is deliberately lying either. Like there is fact in the idea that right now they could not implement a like everybody gets a choice situation because it is like more than half the population is dwarf. So a dwarf will simply take the place. And while he is racist, his concerns are not entirely invalid. There is a proclivity for dwarves towards like more self-centric options that do involve the maintaining of a fiscally controlled society.
Yeah.
So I will speak up and like tell him that I am inclined to want to help your cause, whether you may be slightly racist or not. I don't know. I don't know you that well. However, I would have some reforms I would like to see done to this town in the process, if we can come to terms on that. Before we even get to that, do you mind if I do something of my own to sense where you stand on...
I'm fucking evil as hell, woman.
Okay.
I will say that's the first time, though, the mention of the gnomes was the first time you said anything that wasn't exclusively human, pro-human.
Well, you have to understand that while gnomes do tend to be a bit reckless and lopsided, and they are themselves almost as greedy as the dwarves, gnomes are good economists. They understand how to move money and utilize money in an efficient manner, and they would not make terrible deals with other people simply to secure greater wealth for themselves. They understand that trade is an important part of how you secure greater wealth for the long term.
Hey, look, I'm just trying to make sure that we're not jumping into the bed with the greater of two evils here.
Look,
that's it.
The only thing that keeps me any different than you is that I understand who's actually the most important person in every situation that I have to make decisions on. You all probably have some proclivity for assuming that either the country or the world or other people individually are more important than yourselves. But the reality is you can't help anyone else if you can't help yourselves. None of you can deny that.
I'm just concerned with the level to which you subscribe to that theory.
All right, dude, so if you reform this town and get rid of the government, what are you doing about the sham church?
Religion. What a pointless endeavor that is as well. We should wipe that away. The gods do nothing but leech power from us. They look at our belief and they take what we offer to them, the raw magical power we ourselves could have. Have you seen what can be produced by the heart of a free spirit? Or by one who can speak to magic itself, to the world beyond that here? They can produce the same effects as what members of the clergy can do. We have no need for gods anymore. We are the gods, and the gods were nothing more than us, elevated to great heights.
Ooh, man, you're really you're doing a great job of selling your pitch here. Real politician, I will say that much. Just like the dwarves.
Yeah, I mean, I was inclined to help you if you're gonna help me fucking bring the church actually.
Oh, I'll get rid of the church if you want.
I ain't saying I'm pro-religion, but you've got some real distinct views on a lot of things here.
I just want you to get rid of the cover-up of the church and rid all of the people using the shot as a scam.
I will most assuredly be happy to unveil and remove any cover-ups of sham religion and have them escorted, anyone involved in them escorted directly out of my country or my town.
Fucking ominous as shit.
Well, that's cute. Yeah, sham religion. I think you didn't need to add the word sham. I think we know what you mean there.
And how will you verify that who is associated with the sham religion? Will there be a process?
I can answer this. They subscribe to a religion. That's how he defines who's a sham religion.
If they are overly devoted to the idea of Seshat, as you said, Seshat is the problem here. That there are people that claim they are of Seshat and they are not truly of Seshat.
Yeah, overly devoted, aka any kind of devotion, correct?
I'm not saying Seshat is the problem. I'm saying the people pretending to worship Seshat and not actually worship
Seshat is the problem. Have you not heard the rumors? She doesn't care about her people anymore. She's given up.
To look into any of this?
You want to know how many rumors end up being true?
I get my news from the Fox.
Oh, of course.
Great.
These animal-based people around here.
Look, buddy, I want a legitimate church to Seshat here, and I will help you. But if you're not willing to do that, then I'm probably out.
Don't.
There is no obligation for me to bring in a forced religion upon the people of this town. People should have a right to believe or follow what they wish to. Then I don't need to erect a church in the honor of your goddess.
Wow, that's
right.
Your goddess who has run away from your people?
Get rid of the shitty church and I'll just erect my own church, okay?
Deal. If you can get the people to back your church, I will allow your church to be here. I believe in that right of people.
Okay.
The problem is you can't just define it as the shitty church because he's not going to... He'll decide what he thinks is
No, I've made a reasonable deal. I am a reasonable person.
Aren't you all putting the cart before the horse, as they say? Maybe you should make sure he gets the power first before you make your demands.
The protest will be a great success. Mm-hmm. We have learned one of the big secrets of the town. Did you know that the town has protections here, put together by Delanrian long ago? There is a spirit army that protects the city itself, the town itself. It wanders around the town hall, waiting for the right person to give the command.
I'll kind of like look over at Sphinx.
We found the heiress. The one who is next in line to command them.
Interesting. I'm sure that doesn't play into your plans at all.
Can you imagine what an army of angry people, angry at the current administration, and a horde of spirits devoted to the preservation and the enhancement of a town can do? It's enough that they can usurp power from those who have it.
Interesting.
Now,
and reshape it in your image, I'm sure.
The reason I'm here, to put this simply, is to know. Are you going to oppose me? Are you going to stand beside me? Or are you going to wait here and watch from your little ivory tower as it happens? And
Ivory Tower sounds pretty good.
let's pause on that for the party to think about that.
Perfect.
And-
That'll allow me to go to the bathroom.
Yep, we'll be back in a few minutes.